Even ghosts need a place to call home, and what better a home for a ghost on Halloween than one of Metro's haunted houses?
Tonight on Inside Metro, Steve Bone takes us on a spine-tingling tour of some of his favorite haunts.
Ghost stories are part of growing up in almost every culture, and the Maritimes has a wealth of them. Everyone has their particular favorites, usually told while sitting around a campfire or in a dark, cozy room on a cold winter's night. Tonight we're going to tell you some of those stories, but there's an important difference between the ones you told and heard while growing up and the ones you'll hear tonight. You see, tonight's stories are all about houses right here in Metro, told by people who have felt, heard, and in some cases even seen things they can only describe as ghosts. Join us now as we visit some of Metro's haunted houses. Thorndine, a landmark South End residence with a history full of supernatural events. Former owner James Foreman was a bank manager with problems.
The accountants looked through the books and found that he had siphoned off something like $300,000, and the house, lost his job and the house was sold. The house and its contents were sold. Took 3 days. And he seems to have been attached to the place because we have an authenticated sighting of his ghost. One of the previous owners, the wife, was in the kitchen washing the dishes, and she felt a presence behind her at the doorway of the kitchen. And she turned around and she saw this man in black with what she described a twinkle in his eye. And then one time she visited us and we had a picture of James Foreman in the history of the Bank of Nova Scotia, and she said, "That's the guy."
Another of Thorndine's resident spirits seems to have been something of a sportsman. Former owner Maud Rosinski says she caught a glimpse of a mysterious young man one day.
Yes, it was a very strange thing because it really happened in broad daylight, you know, in a perfectly calm afternoon. And I was in a small room off a corridor, and there was this gentleman in what you people wore for tennis or sports in the late 1920s or something like that. And he was just leaning on a chair and overlooking the garden. So I really thought it was an intruder, and I retreated to the little room and tidied myself up and came up, you know, within a few seconds. And he wasn't there. It disappears.
Rosinski checked around but could find no trace of the mysterious stranger. Those familiar with the home's past say the ghost could have been that of a son of the house who tried to buy it back for his family in the 1920s. Rosinski says he may have been looking at the garden because it had changed so much since the 20s. The Rosinskis have restored many houses over the years and have several stories about supernatural occurrences. Another one involved this house, also on Inglis Street.
Workmen working in the basement after work, generally on Friday, almost very regularly on Friday evenings, would hear somebody quite heavily climbing the stairs to the second floor, and they're walking backward and forward. This person or occurrence was preceded by a very strong, impatient ring of the bell, the electric bell. But the terrible thing about it was that there was no bell. It had been disconnected during the work.
But stately Halifax mansions are not the only places in Metro frequented by spirits. Consider the modest Spryfield home of Mrs. Evelyn Taylor. When she rented a room to a young female co-worker nearly 40 years ago, Taylor never dreamed the girl would meet such a tragic end. The boarder and her lover were found dead in a Waverly cottage. Police called it a double suicide. But Taylor says her dead boarder came home one last time.
They figured that she had died like on a Saturday night. On a Saturday night, she was supposed to come home. I heard her coming home. I heard her footsteps come in the house. And I heard her take off her jewelry. and put it in the ashtray. But when I got up in the morning, there was no jewelry there.
And she wasn't home.
And she wasn't home.
There are other stories about houses in Metro, but historians say some of them are mere rumors. For instance, contrary to popular belief, the black window in a house on Robie Street at Jubilee Road did not spontaneously occur as the result of someone hanging himself in the window. In truth, the window was only installed for design reasons. Behind it is a wall, which the owner hid by painting the window black. A hole in one of the windows of St. Paul's Church resembles a human profile. Rumors say a priest was blown through the glass during the Halifax explosion. The glass was broken during the Halifax explosion, and parishioners said the remaining outline did resemble the profile of Father Jean-Baptiste Moreau, and it was preserved for that reason only. Whenever a house is abandoned for a period of time, people will make up stories about it. But no matter how many phony ghost stories are around, those who believe they've seen spirits will continue to convince others that there's more to life and death than first meets the eye. Inside Metro's haunted houses, Steve Bone, MITV.